Hello and welcome to the show. A much lesser known classic motorsport rivalry is that of the Mini versus the Mustang. On the face of it, it's a little bit unusual, and I'll be honest, I never heard about this until I happened to see a support race. I think it was for the V8 Supercars, where they had the classic Mustang racing against the classic Mini. Yes, the Mustang is hardly the biggest of the American cars, but still quite an amusing sight. You had the very light, very agile Mini, very quick around the corners, and the Mustang very fast when it came to the straights, but quite the handful is this one with an open diff, spins a wheel all the way around the final corner. But it's an interesting matchup. It is an interesting matchup indeed. And back on, I think it was Forza 6, I had a go with, well, building up a classic Mustang and a classic Mini to race together. But what if we were to bring this old rivalry into the modern era? How would the cars match up? So, that is what I did. I set about building a Mustang GT. I chose not to use the Shelby. The GT350R, technically a slightly newer version, but that's a pure track car. Wouldn't really work very well. So yeah, a kind of base model Mustang GT and the Cooper Works Mini. Built them to a mid-A class. Kind of built them to touring car specs. So full race tyres, race weight reduction, etc. Big wings and so on for the vehicles. The Mustang was left with its stock, well, pretty much stock power. The Mini with a little, well, say a little bit more, just 350 horsepower in the Mini, but considerably lighter to try and balance things out. And overall, the cars, yeah, worked pretty well in terms of pure lap times. We had qualifying sessions first. The grey Mustang you saw on screen a second ago, that would get to a pole position. The dark blue Mustang here would end up second. The highest placed Mini would get to third. Pretty good showing, and in fact, qualifying was very close. There was only a few tenths between a large number of cars, so over the course of the lap, it was looking good. I think Minis were a third and fifth, or third and sixth in this for qualifying, so pretty even spread. There was an issue, though, of course. The Mini, being front-wheel drive, would be hell to get off the line. The problem is I can't do a rolling start on Forza 7. You can do it in single player, but it's going to let you do it in multiplayer at the moment. So you couldn't have a rolling start, which meant the Minis were going to hurt a lot, an awful lot, getting off the line. In fact, the Mini that started in third lost 4 places before it got to the first corner. In fact, it was pretty much a whole split field by the time we got to turn 1. Mustangs at the front, Minis, well, in the middle and further back. One Mustang that had a bad qualifying session had to come from the very back, having not actually got a clean lap. I'd had an okay qualifying, but again, every Mustang went flying past me, just trying to get off the line. It was, yeah, a pretty big split. So the Minis had a lot of work to go and do again. Not helped by Green Mini with a wheel on the grass in a braking zone going for a wander. He would recover before losing too much time, but that's not really what you need. And, well, the Mini that we're following here that started from third on the grid has a sea of Mustangs ahead of them to try and get through. They're going too wide up ahead, and you just can't do anything at that particular point. As I said, I'd had an okay qualifying position, but off the line, I too was dumped down the order, and a train of Minis were now trying to recover, having now, well, got going, with 3 of us all lining up to fire up the inside of a Mustang. I mean, it was quite an impressive little bit of an overtake that we had going on. The Mustang actually tried to hold it around the outside. We then almost went 3 wide through the next corner, and Mustang ended up running out of road. I managed to sneak my way up the inside, somehow managing to make up another position on the grey Mini. Got all of that completed as the poor grey Mini eventually runs out of tarmac being stuck on there. If you got stuck on the outside in these cars, you were in trouble. I'd play a little bit in the dirt. Thankfully for me, I was far enough away from anything that it didn't matter too much that we ended up touching the dirt. It was quite a manic opening lap. One very much enjoyed by the Mustangs. The lead pair were able to break away a little bit. A second pairing was formed as they fought for third place, and they were able to make a gap. They were able to run away while the Minis, faster Minis, were bogged down in traffic and stuck fighting with other cars, whether it be amongst themselves or with other Mustangs. This lead pack was able to try and make a gap. Now, admittedly, they were still relatively close together and were inevitably going to end up fighting one another for positions, but they enjoyed a nice early lead. The Grey Mustang that had had the terrible qualifying session was going quickly, and sure enough, caught up to the back of, well, kind of worked his way through the mini brigade. I was the next one on his order of cars to overtake, and as I got into trouble at the final corner, missed the apex, ran wide, Mustang will say thank you very much and take that position away from me. Although, entertainingly, with the way I'd had to build these cars to balance them out quite, we now had the complete reverse scenario. The Mini was the faster of the two down the straights. The Mini out-accelerated the Mustang and would get to a higher top speed. The Mustang, though, more consistent in terms... Well, it's not necessarily a better handling car. The Mini was good through the corners, but the Mustang able to deploy its power out of a corner. That was its strength. It could get its power down quite well, whereas the Mini, front-wheel drive, had its struggles. Even with big race tyres, 350 horsepower through the front wheels is quite a lot in comparison to the Mustang that, yeah, it could deploy its power so much better. Now, as I said, the leaders had made a bit of a breakaway, but it wasn't long before they would start fighting, and the more viciously they fought, the more they slowed one another down. The white car was slightly faster and trying to find a way past, but the Grey Mustang well within his rights to try and defend his position, and as soon as you start going side by side like this, you're going to cost yourself seconds a lap. And that's going to bring more Mustangs into the group, as the white car's still looking for a way around the outside of turn 3. Can't quite get that one done. The grey car's going to cover the inside on the run up towards the next corner. The white car thinks about going around the outside, can't do it, tries to cut back on the exit, but again he'll draw alongside, but the grey car is doing a perfect job of making sure he's always got the inside run in towards the next corner, and in the space of half a lap, a few corners, the blue Mustang has come to join in. Still that white and blue car is looking around the outside. He's not going to make it now. That blue Mustang wants to buy in to this fight. Tries to sneak up the inside, although isn't quite far enough along. And it's not going to be long before 4th place will join in. Then 5th place will join in, as there's a lot of tyres across that particular bit of track. I don't know who managed to hit the tyre bundle, but never mind, as the leader's a little bit wide. And then you've got to be very careful when you're in the middle of this little group, as they both push too hard, run wide. The blue car's out on the sand, on the grass, sorry, loses a position. The white car gets away with that one. Yeah, when you're in the middle of that, if you go too aggressive, you lose a place from the car behind, but you've got to go aggressive enough to try and get an overtake done. While the Mustangs were busy tripping over one another further up, us Minis weren't helping each other further back either. It had ended up being a Mini versus Mini and a Mustang versus Mustang battle all on the same track, with cars of surprisingly similar speed, but just the way everything had panned out after the start had not quite worked out. I was frantically trying to defend from the white and black Mini and was just about managing to hold it off, but again, much as we saw with the leaders, we were starting to fight like this and it wasn't massively helping our lap times. Very, very good fun. Incredibly good fun, this little battle. A couple of times the white and black car would make a way past me and then make a little mistake on his own and I'd find a way back past. It was a really, really good little battle between the pair of us. Not a very good battle in terms of catching after a Mustang. Because again, you know, as we follow, or he follows me down this next section, not quite close enough to have a go. I struggled a little bit to get the car turned in. I was a little bit wide of the corner, but still managed to make the apex and, you know, keep the position. Now, the highest placed of the Minis, the green Mini that actually we saw skating off the track on lap 1, was now catching this lead group as they fought. As they started to fight one another and he had a little bit of clean air, it wasn't long before he caught up and was now trying to look for ways past. And if anything, I think the Minis were a little bit quicker over the course of a lap if they could run in clean air. Once they got the tyre up temperature, everything, if they could run in clean air, they were very quick. However, getting past a field of Mustangs is easier said than done. The Mini with that greater straight line speed, my English isn't excellent, but you know, the Mini with that greater straight line speed tries to outdrag the Mustang, but is going to again get held going out wide. That's around the outside of one corner, still on the outside, as there's some grass cutting from Mustang behind, around the outside of corner number 2. If you can keep it there, well, you've got to go around the outside of corner number 3, so good luck with that, and then maybe corner number 4 you'll be to the inside. The Mini doesn't want to try it at corner number 3, which is fair enough, it's a difficult one to do. Now the white and purple Mustang is going to cover that inside line, and again, the Mini is stuck trying to go the long way round, gets a good run out of the corner, there's nowhere to go, the Mustang covers that inside line, and guess where the Mini's going to have to try again? Well, it's around the outside of a final corner, Again, a very difficult corner to make an overtake stick, and it isn't quite able to draw alongside. Again, try to use that acceleration of the Mini to cut underneath, but the Mustang is wary of that one. We're going to try a fourth or fifth time around the outside at turn 1. Oh, that's not quite going to work. We're going to duck back underneath on the exit. Not quite, because again, the Mustang covers that inside, and the Mini cannot find a way past, and we're back around the outside at turn number 2 perhaps, and they've still not quite made that one work. The Mini spins the wheels on the exit of the corner, and all of that, well, I say all that hard work, and they've caught up to the train now. You can see the cars ahead now vanishing off into the distance as the pair of them fight for that position. A great little exchange between those. Behind me and the white Minis exchange, there was, well, a more Mustang versus Mini battle actually going on. Again, you know, once you kind of fell into these pairs, you lost so much time fighting in your respective pairs that you're trying to recover up the order was quite difficult. It made for entertaining racing. It made for entertaining racing for the drivers. As an overall spectacle and as an overall challenge, it did make things a little bit difficult to judge on, as the Mustang has a big lunge up the inside into turn 1. Can't get the car stopped in time. And again, once the Mini can get the power down, Mini can accelerate away, can get clear before they get to turn 3. I mean, there was another battle going on behind these guys of a sort of a 2 or 3 group of cars fighting for positions further back. There was a lot of action going on track, which is what you want to see. It was less of the Mini versus Mustang action that I'd perhaps ideally have hoped, certainly further up the order, but that was, the start caused a lot of problems with that. At the front, as the white and grey Mustang continued to battle for the lead, eventually the white car would manage to work his way to the inside. An excellent cutback would go side by side through a couple of corners. The grey Mustang trying to hold it on the outside. A wheel on the grass was just asking too much of the car as he would go skating off into the gravel trap, and that would put the white car up into the lead. And it would also cause, well, as I cause chaos further back. It would bunch up the Mustangs from second and back into one very, very big group. The green Mini, that was continuing to fight the good fight, to fly the flag for the for the Mini, as second place now started to fight quite viciously. The Mini was still looking for a way past the white and purple car. Thankfully, opportunities would arise as the Mustangs were busy tripping over one another in the fight for second place. The Mini would be looking for any opportunity. The white turquoise pink car basically makes a little bit of a mistake up into turn 2, trying to get an overtake done, and in doing so gets hung out wide, and everybody wants to steam train on their way past. The white and purple car tries to go around the outside. It's 3 wide, with the Mini making the best of that opportunity, darting up 2 positions in one corner. And that would put a Mini onto the podium, which was not too bad. It would also put the Mustangs into one big angry pack. One big angry pack that I will say, me further back, me and the other Mini were enjoying watching going on, as there's some more sandcastles being made by one of the great Mustangs out there. It was mad. It was absolutely manic in the closing stages of the race. Yeah, back here, we were having fun. We were continuing to have fun. The white Mini finally found his way past me on the next corner, managed to throw the car, well, they don't even throw the car off the course, just ran that little bit too deep. Wheel on the grass, slowed him down slightly. I will say thank you very much, and I will take that position away. The grey Mini actually broke free of the battle with the Mustang behind, and he was starting to catch us, probably not doing that sort of thing, but was starting to catch us, but was running out of laps to do it. I put a wheel on the grass, slowed me down, I was out wide. The white Mini then spots his opportunity to get up the inside, gets the car there, just can't quite slow it down in time, and there was a lot of grass cutting going on. I mean, if we were in Hondas, I'm sure there's a lawnmower joke to be made here, but as it was in Minis, we were still playing a lot in the grass. It was good fun. We were really pushing what we could do with those Minis. We did spend a lot of time. Probably not where we should have been, but there we go. At the front of the field, having got to the lead, a very hard fought-for battle for the lead, able to run away from the big angry pack of cars that really, really slowed each other down in the final couple of laps. It looks like a very comfortable margin of victory for the white Mustang. Truth be told, it wasn't so much for a lot of the race, but yeah, able to run in clean air towards the end of the run is always very, very helpful indeed. But being able to get to the lead is massively important. As for the Minis, well, third place was always looking likely at the end of this all to be about as higher a position as they could have achieved. Not so much through speed, if you like, but just through well, circumstances at the start, it was always looking tough as they head around the final corner. The Mustang's actually in a bit of bother up ahead in second, puts a wheel across the gravel, across the grass, is a bit slow heading down towards the start-finish line. The Mini has a very, very big run, but it's just a little bit too late to be able to do anything about the Ford. 2 Mustangs on the podium, a Mini in third place. I mean, overall, as far as a result goes, not too bad. Now, the craziest of final laps, that would, though, go over 4th place. You can see at the start of this final lap how close they were to the Mini and the blue Mustang, and you saw at the end of that last clip how far back they'd fallen by the time the Mini crossed the line, because, well, yeah, there was a lot of fighting. There was a lot of fighting between all of them. The white and purple Mustang trying to go around the outside of turn 3. That's a little bit of a tough order to pull off through all of that. And they're all stacking up, and that's all causing each other problems. The white turquoise car is out wide across the curb. That little bit of sliding isn't going to cost you a huge amount of time, but when everybody's so very close behind, it's enough to potentially put you in trouble. Although for now, 4th place far enough away as they head through this next corner. Everybody's looking for different lines. I'm pretty sure all 4 of them were taking a different line slightly through that corner, looking for somewhere they can get an advantage. And sure enough, the white and purple car is up the inside. And the white and turquoise has got to be very careful that everybody doesn't follow him through. We'd already seen that happen a number of times in this race. He tries to hold it on the outside but can't do it. Puts a wheel on the grass and loses all 3 of the positions as they head around the penultimate corner. Just one more turn to go for this big pack of cars, and it's not a great overtaking spot. That much is for sure. The white and turquoise goes for it, though, up the inside. It is actually a very, very well-judged manoeuvre, as everybody managed to stack each other up so much there that the white and turquoise could actually get that move done. A great pass to get one of those positions back, and in fact, you can see how much we gained on that final lap. Our little mini battle that continued throughout the entirety of the race. We were watching that and we were closing rapidly. A couple more laps and we probably would have been up to that group, even with us fighting one another for the for the majority of these final laps. I would eventually fend off the white and black Mustang for the position. As I said, we had an excellent fun battle. Wasn't quite what I'd hoped for overall, but we had an excellent fun battle with our little minis. All in all, it was a frantic race. It was an absolutely frantic, bonkers race. As far as the challenge goes, as far as the Mustang versus Mini challenge goes, lap time-wise, it was very close between the cars. Qualifying only a few tenths covered a large number of cars. The Mustang was considerably easier to drive. You had to really know what you were doing with the Mini to get any speed out of it. I wasn't great with it. The black and white Mini, the green Mini were both faster drivers with that car than me, and really could put the fight to the Mustangs. I could for a little while, but made a few too many mistakes, really, with the car. The Mustang was, yeah, the much easier vehicle to extract performance out of, and its advantage off the line was pretty massive. You know, the Mini's losing 4 places just from launch. That is so difficult to recover from in a battle where the cars are supposed to be as close as possible. That's a lot of cars to try and get through, and once you get held up in traffic, once you get held up in battles, it is very, very tough to recover from that. Hell, me not being the greatest with this car held up the highest qualifying Mini for the entire race because we just kept battling each other into attrition. It was... yeah, it was good fun, and the Minis were competitive. That was the point. In fact, actually, PI-wise between the cars, there's only a couple of PI points difference, and to get the balance to work with them, yeah, the Mini was lunatically fast. Well, as I say, lunatically fast. It was quick in a straight line, it was quite powerful, but difficult to drive, and its difficulties in getting off of the line were a bit pronounced. That all being said, we had a lot of fun. And that's the most important thing at the end of the day. We had a lot of fun. The Mustangs versus the Minis were highly entertaining. The tunes for these cars can be found on my storefront if you want to have a go with them and try and race them against one another. The Mustang is quite a very nice car to drive, actually. The Mini is difficult, but you can get some serious speed out of it when everything goes well. When it all goes wrong, you tend to go and cut some grass. But there we go. That, though, is going to be it for this video. Thank you very much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.